Okay, so basically what I'm going to do with this guy is the front part of his body is we're going to do as if we were doing a continental trim. So this is going to be separate from what we call the puppy pants here. So I'm going to go and I'm going to use the same guidelines as if I were doing a continental trim on his front end, and then we're going to make the adjustments for the back end. But the first thing I want to do is right where my clipper work is, I want to make sure I scissor down with my straight shears. I want to make sure those aren't straight. I want to make sure my scissor work that meets my clipper work in this area is really tight. So this is going to be right down to the skin so we can show off that line that Sue set in with her clippers. So I just want to make sure that's nice and clean. That'll give us a good starting point to go by.
Whoop. Easy.
It's okay, buddy. So same thing on this other side. What's wrong, bud? Just take that right down, and I'm laying my scissors right next to the skin, or right down on the skin, to cut this area.
This area that Jay is doing right now, if you don't get this tight enough, he'll look like he's got absolutely no neck. And no matter what the trim, the poodle should look elegant. So if you leave it too full in through there, it'll totally take away that nice elegant look. Boy. So it's really important that you get that in nice and tight.
Okay. So I'm going to hold this back. So what I'm shooting for here, or what I'm aiming for, I'm going to have a nice round front end. I'm going to show off his chest. We don't want this to be flat, and this is going to be a little bit more exaggerated than what you'd see in the United States. So just because we're doing a European trim, so they have a little bit more flair, actually a lot more flair, and a lot more style than what we're used to seeing. So I'm going to take off, because he looks long in body right now, I'm going to take off some of this bulk just to kind of give us a starting point. So I'm using my curved shears, and I'm not making it flat. I'm going in from right at my shoulder, or right at my neck, into my shoulder. I'm just going to round this off. So I want to take off some length. And one thing I see, like when you look at a lot of the magazines, I see that the chest is being left too high on a lot of your European trims, so it makes them look out of balance. And what we really want is, we want this chest to come down and flow right out the, if we were to draw a line straight out the elbow to the back of the leg here, we want all that to flow. So I'm going to tighten this up just to start showing off some chest. And then we'll kind of whittle our way through this.
Now the furthest part out of the chest would be like right at the breastbone, right? So as you come down, you use, if you're looking at the bone structure underneath, you can use his breastbone as your guideline for where you know you want to start bringing the circle back down and around. So if you think about the bones underneath, it'll help.
So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my front end set in, and we're going to work our way towards the middle. But right now I just want to concentrate on getting a lot of this stuff out of the way, just where he's so overgrown. That's not going to be a part of our spray up here. And you still, even though we're doing this really extreme trim, we want to see parallel lines. So we want to make everything look as as balanced as we can. Oh, shoot. And once we spray them up, you'll be able to see the difference, or the contrast.
Which should be interesting, because when he was a puppy and we were showing him, Jess was showing him, he didn't like hairspray, and he hasn't been sprayed since then, so it should be fun. You say, because you know I'm doing it, not
right.
you.
Be still, buddy.
This is Magic Touch grooming spray. It's by Crown Royal, and this actually is it's kind of like a detangler. It's got a nice fine mist, so it kind of helps the coat to stand up, and so it makes the comb a little bit easier to get through.
Okay, so I was just trying to keep it from dancing here. But I'm just going to work my way back. And this line from my shoulder down the front, or the side of my front leg, it's going to be nice and parallel. I'm not going to come in and make this you know, a real distinct line here. Everything's going to blend in. So, but I'm just trying to get some of this hair off so we can kind of see, what's wrong, buddy? So we can kind of see what we're working with here.